Welcome back to Gamology's Experts React. It's me, Dr. Jordan Wagner, better known as Dr. ER. Today, we are checking out Surgeon Simulator 2. Oh, love it. Surgeon Simulator 2. What? I can't wait to get into like a nice little preview. Holy cow. This seems a little more wacky than the VR version I played before. There's like a trailer clip to be like, this is what you're getting yourself into.
Keep a close eye on Bob's blood level. If he bleeds out, it's game over.
Yep, don't let Bob die. So the scanners are cool. I like it.
According to the scanner, Bob's got a dodgy right leg. Rip it off!
Oh my gosh, get that leg out of here. Yeah, you couldn't rip off a leg. I want to know what that is. Sometimes we can actually use a medication called TXA, which can help decrease bleeding, but we wouldn't actually just throw things around and use that old school syringe. We don't have that really in the emergency department. We kind of do, but you'd want an IV access to take off a limb. I've literally done these procedures before, not in the emergency department, but when I was a resident, and you can't just rip it off. You need to use like different types of knives and saws. It's just a lot more complicated.
Grab a fresh leg and just pop it on.
Put that fresh leg. Look at that leg. Look, you got the ball to go with the socket. That's the head of the femur. Very good. Going right into the acetabulum.
Let's continue. Looks like Bob's low on blood.
Little top off, a little bit of blood. Typically, blood comes in packet bags that are pint size. And then you have to do Titan screens. You need to make sure that the blood is compatible. Sometimes you can actually give O negative blood when you're in an emergency and you don't know what person's blood type is. It means it basically has no markers that a body would typically react to. So if I have O negative blood, I can really only receive O negative blood. If I'm O positive, I can do O positive and O negative blood. Me, my blood type is super rare. I am AB positive, so literally I can get blood from anybody. But me donating, I can literally only give to AB positive. But I do like that Bob just comes up and his thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity are just ready for your surgeries, whatever it needs to be.
Use a little more finesse this time. Why don't you grab a saw? For good sawing technique.
All right, rip off the limb, but more finesse. We don't use those type of saws. Typically, for a limb amputation, you're using a giggly saw, which is like a wire commonly. But not like this. You would cut off all the soft tissue, cut through it. You would tie off the major blood vessels. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. But at least, oh, the joint just came apart. Just came popping out. And oh my gosh, it's on ice. I love it. So why would it be on ice? To just cool the tissue down so it slows the metabolic processes that are going on.
Remember, for a successful appendage transplant, Bob must have all of his limbs and head attached.
Oh, good. I like that the head will be attached. But you wouldn't leave the limb on the ground. It's like, yeah, forget it. Biohazard. Bob may want that arm back, which I think you can take back, actually.
Crack the ribs with something heavy to get at his lungs.
Oh my gosh. I remember doing this. Break the ribs. No, they use a saw, actually, to cut the sternum and crack it open. All right, we got a blade. Blade maybe to separate the lung tissue from the hilum.
Remove the old lungs.
You gotta get rid of both lungs. So, if this is actually real life happening, you'd actually have somebody on a machine where all the blood goes outside of the body and you're oxygenating it that way. That way you don't have blood flow to these areas that you would emergently need them to breathe. Like, how are they oxygenating tissue? Lung transplants, they are a thing, actually. And then anytime you have a tissue transplant or organ transplant, you need to be on anti-rejection medications as well.
Our bioreplicator unit, the Brood, has produced a replacement.
Cool, like a 3D printer.
This achievement and works almost perfect.
What does that mean? Works almost perfect. When people you have to be on a transplant list, unfortunately somebody has to die for you to get an organ. Blood volume looks pretty good. 5,600 mLs, 5.6 liters, which is about right. Why are we using a chair that is not sterile? The doctor's not even sterile. We're using home gloves. You got the bird that is all infection and galore. Hopefully they're giving some antibiotics, maybe some hand stuff. And there's no assistants around. I do like the calm music. Okay, we need some different syringes. So see, the syringe has the thumb hole at the top, and so you can actually manipulate it a lot easier to be able to use one hand versus having to use two. Oh, just ripping out the lungs, you're gonna be bleeding out, you're gonna die. Where's the blood volume? Everything is gone. Double lung and heart transplant, I'm assuming. Injection to stop the bleeding. IM won't work that fast. Look, the heart turned green. That's a bad heart, that's why. 3D print, give me a new one. It's actually kind of entertaining, but like taking so much liberties how things don't work. They don't work this way.
Julian, you know arms and legs don't belong in there.
What do we got here? A new heart?
I'm sure it is, but secret projects on your own time, please.
Wow, at least let me smash the door open with the heart. Oh my gosh, and you're putting it upside down.
And he still has all his limbs.
Imagine I just walked around the hospital like this. Oh my gosh, the blood volume is so low, only 800. That is not sustainable with life. Give them blood. Like, they didn't even call it out. Yeah, I'm just being aware of my surroundings. Just throwing it to the side. Oh, let me just get some random other blood from the ground. I love it. Patient's gonna do better. I wonder how much volume is actually in one of those syringes. Oh, there you go. So it was over 2,000 to maybe 600 mLs in each, maybe. So most doors in the hospital are automatic. Oh, so 2,800. So 1,000 cc's or mLs per syringe. Hits the ground, needs to be thrown into a sterile area, and you need to get a new one. Oh, look, let me just... So, it would be a massive amount of bleeding if you're doing it this way, and it doesn't pop off like that. Again, the humerus is a round joint like that into the glenoid fossa of the scapula, and that's where it's attached to, so you need to get that up. I do like how it's changed color to where it decreased blood flow, so you actually see that the limb looks more pale, which is actually common. But we got a new... we got a new arm. You can open the door with this shoulder joint. Go back and forth. Pop that bad boy on there. I'm just gonna leave it like this. Sometimes people actually come in with a dislocation here and anterior, but it's opposite. It's crazy. It's really hard to put back in. We got more arms flying everywhere. More ejection. And then you think, okay, all my patients who come to the emergency department and played this game, they're like, why can't you just do it faster and easier? And why can't I have all this stuff done? I now see where you guys get your information. This is like the kidney organ black market. What the heck is happening? Seriously, organs are just not laying around like that. You know, they are being used by somebody immediately. Helicopter transports, people carrying in these little medical coolers. I just throwing legs off the side. We got a leg. We're good. We're fresh. Let's reperfuse that leg and let's get going. Blood volumes are about half, so you got to be really careful. If you lost that amount of blood that quickly, it's not sustainable with life. But typically, when somebody's blood volume is that low, it's probably been more of a chronic loss. And no, you don't just throw stomach and intestines out. Everything just gone. The lung is gone. The stomach is gone. Oh my gosh. And it's moving around a little bit. We need better sedation. That was a med to stop the bleeding. There's the heart. We're just gonna drop the heart back in there. Come on. I mean, I'm quite entertained, but come wrong. What do we got there? Oxygen? Or just the mechanism of cracking the chest. When I say I've cracked the chest, literally we make a big incision on the side, put rib spreaders in, crank that bad boy open, and it lifts it up and open. So we don't fracture ribs on purpose. The only time we do that, unfortunately, is during CPR. What is this, like steak dinner knife? Oh, the scalpel looks really intense. And just cutting out a little bit more delicate instead of just ripping things. We got lungs that have been removed. Didn't really see the last organ because it was in the the thoracic cavity, but it didn't look like a lung. The heart actually is surrounded also by fatty tissue. It's like red and a little bit of yellow. The fat in our body is yellow, versus just plain red. And it also has a little bit of white to it, connective tissue. What do we got? Oh, a new heart in the storage closet. Very calm music. So surgeons actually will play music in the operating room for whatever they enjoy doing to get themselves through the surgery, or maybe at the request of the patient. Now, all they need to add is maybe some antibiotics. That would be so helpful for stabbing the heck out of this person's neck with a coagulant. I believe that was a coagulant. It was yellow material, so it was probably to stop the bleeding, to then saw off the other arm. So we're missing that the patient needs to be intubated on a ventilator. You need an anesthesiologist in the room to help with ventilations and to monitor the patient. They need to be on the cardiac monitor. Significantly losing blood, as we saw in the blood volume monitor. We don't actually have that ability to actually know. We do have the ability to monitor blood pressure and output and all that stuff by putting catheters in the arteries and the veins, but it's not always done because it's a very invasive procedure. Oh my gosh, you lose the blood. Where's the limb? Oh, we're just getting rid of both. All right, we're just there are people who have survived without having both lower extremities. 974 mLs, acute blood loss, unlikely that the individual would survive.
I can practically smell the concentration from here. Oh, I really have been crawling around in these vents too long.
No, the smell that you're smelling is actually the blood. Blood has a very pronounced smell, and you can almost taste it.
Hey, I found some old lectures on tape. Check this out.
Oh my gosh. But sometimes if you're doing a procedure that you haven't done in a long time, you'll pop on the internet, check out a YouTube video, or go to your favorite medical website. And it's okay to do a little bit of refresher of a rare procedure. I'm done. I'm out of the room. I'm going to another room. The amount of walking around that occurs in this situation. So you want to be on ECMO when the heart's not there. Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, right? So you want to go on ECMO, which is basically a machine that oxygenates your blood outside of your body. What are we doing? We're moving some stuff again. Man, there's a lot of transplanted limbs in this game. All I remember, I was doing it eye transplant, brain transplant, different organs specifically. Some were harder than others. Versus this is just brutal. You got a head removal. You got a brain head transplant. What the heck? Okay. They always say video games and movies predict the future. So maybe this is down the line that we just don't know about yet. For more Experts React, check out Gamology YouTube channel as well as Facebook page. And for me, Dr. Jordan Wagner, check out Dr. ER, the YouTube channel, as well as all the social media platforms. Appreciate you guys watching. Till next time, stay healthy, my friends.